Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuc,
David Nguyen,
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in any market. Today, we've got a really cool guest, and David, this is one of your guests, brother. So why don't you do the honors?
I'd love to. This is a special lady. Her name is Susan Flores. I call her the queen of real estate in El Paso, Texas. Everything, all real estate.
She's awesome.
She's awesome.
Well, I've seen your production report too, and I've been hearing about you for almost a decade. So I know that you do some really, really cool stuff. And from what I've heard, you're not just El Paso, right? You serve some other communities, correct?
New Mexico also, yeah.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, Susan, we definitely know your name. We know what you're doing and all the cool stuff that you're a part of. But we want to make sure that our followers get to know you as well. And that's why we brought you on the show. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, right? What's the quick pitch on Susan Flores and what you do and how you got into the business and how you're doing what you're doing?
Well, thank you, gentlemen, first of all, for having me on your show. It was a surprise and an honor, actually, to be able to be on your show. So thank you so much. Once again, my name is Susan Flores, and yes, I've been in real estate for, I would say, a little over 18 years, going on 19 years in May. So I've been very blessed with everything I've been able to do for just helping the folks that I love to help. And the majority of my people, of course, are first-time home buyers, but I actually started my real estate business and my career in Dallas. So I used to live in Dallas.
Okay.
I was in the mortgage business, actually, on the lending side of it.
Competition.
Yes, it was because, well, I actually was I worked for a wholesale lender. So in the early 2000s, I was there. And I really
Lender, if I can ask.
it used to be called American Conduit, ABC, American Brokers Conduit.
I remember seeing that logo.
Yeah, so I actually moved to Dallas not to go into real estate, but I actually moved to Dallas thinking I was going to be one of the marketing people for the Dallas Cowboys because that was going to be what I wanted to do. And so I was going to school there, and then all of a sudden my career kind of pivoted actually once I met some friends in school, and then they just mentioned they needed some people at this mortgage company, and I wasn't happy where I was at. And that's how I actually got into real estate with working for a wholesale lender. So
well, we're lucky that happened, right? And all the homeowners that you've helped out, they're lucky that you got in this business because I know from our previous conversations, you really care about what you do. And that's really what we want to talk about is, tell us a little bit about, what you're doing down there and what makes you, your superpower for helping families.
well, I don't know if you call it superpowers. I really truly have a passion for what I do. It's there's no secret sauce. It's really just being honest and transparent with people, especially in our community here. People just want honesty. Make sure you're taken care of. They're taken care of. And really, it's just the communication. And I have a great team behind me, I have some great assistants. So it's really about, well, I do have assistants. It's really, it takes a village, to be honest with you. And I just had a closing the other day, and it was a nice compliment from the escrow officer. She loved working with my team, with actually David's team as well. Jasmine was amazing. We closed on our
We
client.
love Jasmine.
She's amazing. And so really it takes a village. I mean, they make me look good, but it takes a team effort. But
I think with any good real estate agent or mortgage professional, it takes a team. Notice the Dubuc team, right? We are a team, and it's not about me, it's about all of us, because without all of us, this magic stuff doesn't happen, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, we love taking care of people. A lot of our clients are first-time home buyers where they need a little bit of that extra hand-holding. And believe me, we're there 100%. So it's exciting.
That's awesome. So how many people on the team?
There's 4 of us. So I have 2 ISA people, and then I have my admin and then my TC. And I'm actually hiring another part-time assistant. She'll probably be starting with us in a couple of weeks to do some other stuff that we're trying to venture into as well. But it's all real estate related. So it's just it's right now it's just me as the only sole agent, and then I'm going to have a total of 5.
Rainmaker.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yes.
So the ISA, let's talk about those acronyms because again, you know, our followers don't always know what that means. So what do they expect from an ISA?
Basically, they're my inside salespeople, assistants that whenever you know, somebody is coming in calling for some information. It's not so much information about real estate because I'm the one that has to speak to them when it's real
Sure.
estate related. But it's just general information that they're able to speak with them, and a lot of times it's via text because they're coming in through
Right.
it could be a referral based type of customer coming in.
That's right.
Majority are customers coming in from referrals, but it's just giving them a general information. And then once we get into a substantial talks about real estate, that's where I come in, and then we kind of take it from there.
Well, you've got to have people you trust on the back end because you can't be there all the time, right? You know, and I've seen your portfolio of production. You help and service a lot of families. But to be able to do that, you've got to have good people behind closed doors that are there to answer the phones, to communicate with the borrowers, and to make sure that they understand a clear path of how they're going to get to purchase that home. And then when the time comes and the real you know, intricate parts of, hey, this is what we're looking at, that's where you come in, right? And really walk them through that process and give them a clear path to home ownership.
Absolutely, because they need to know basically what they can expect working with me, basically. And of course,
Right.
there's certain documents whenever you're having a substantial conversation with somebody in real estate, you have to present certain documents as well to them, and give the option how they can be represented in a transaction. So those are very important parts of any kind of when you're starting to speak real estate with anybody. So I have to be the person, and that's when I come in and take it from there. But yes, it
We
does
want to
take
make sure that it's a simple process, right? Simplified.
Right.
Everybody knows what's going on, and you know, having that support team back there when you're not available to be able to pick up the phone and you know, communicate when consumers have questions. Especially you mentioned you do a lot of first time home buyer stuff, right? I can only imagine there's a lot of questions there, right?
They are, Devin. When it comes down to real estate, of course, I'm the one that's taking care of those questions. But when it comes down lending, that's where we have a partners like David and his team, where they're able to now come in, and that's when we try to push them towards lending. But at the end of the day, you know, it's all a team, and it's not only myself; it's lenders, title people, and you know,
Your
inspectors.
success partners.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll take this a little bit. You know, I've been working now, Susan, about almost a year. You know, the success that Susan has, I can honestly say is a large part because of her team. Not to take anything away from Susan, but her team's amazing. I can tell you with the amount of volume that she does, she knows every single little thing that goes on because it's a reflection of my team. So my team is one of Susan's lender partners, and as you know, I don't do it alone. I have a team of 4, and you know, when we group chat, everybody has their role, everybody has their place, and everybody is treated phenomenally. You know, there's not a transaction that goes on that we don't know what's going on. And I think the big key to what we have is a smooth and flawless closing. That's what we try to give every customer. You know, it may not be smooth and flawless because there may be some issues there, but they may need some problems. But as far as the client knows, we are working on the back end with her team and our team to make sure it gets to that finish line.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to say, David, your team is amazing. I mean, to get compliments from a title company that I hardly work with, it's amazing because she spoke volumes about your team and my team. So that's a good thing. So yes,
Communication, you know, you guys are both providing communication and you're making sure that you're there when any party needs you. And that's why you've got the successful teams behind you, because communication is a big part of the process. And I think that's where a lot of lenders and sometimes agents get it wrong. And that's not your problem, and that's not David's problem. I think we do a great job of communication, and I know you do too. You know, you know, so important there.
yes.
So talk to us. You're in El Paso, and you know, and you do New Mexico as well. So how do you service both communities? How is that even possible?
Good question. So, as you know, El Paso is right by the border of New Mexico. So there is just crossing the state line. We have Solon Park, New Mexico. We have Santa Teresa, Vinton, La Union. So they're little towns, little small communities. And then you go further west, and you have 45 minutes from here, you have the bigger city of Las Cruces. So I don't venture too much on that area, but I try to stay close to the state line because it is a little difficult sometimes to be going from one side of town to the other. But again, it's just working the schedule. But we have really good clients that understand that we just schedule them as needed, and of course on their time. But it's a good relationship. I don't do a lot in New Mexico as much as I want to. I more in Texas right now, but I am dual licensed for the reason because we're right on the border on the state line in New Mexico. So I think it's an advantage to be able to be.
You're bouncing around a little bit, and you want to make sure that you can help people, whether it's on this side or the other side. You can serve the communities, provide them that great service that you do, right?
Absolutely. You want to be able to cover that area as well, because a lot of folks that actually work in Texas and El Paso live across the state line, and it's just very beneficial. So it could benefit them just going across the state line because of taxes are a little bit lower over there. So they take advantage of that.
That's cool. So you're making sure you're putting people in a home that they can afford, whether that's in the El Paso community or if it's just right across the border in New Mexico, so that you can serve your clients with their best possible needs, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So and that's when, I know David and his team are licensed in New Mexico, and it's great to be able to have a one-stop shop so that we don't have to be bouncing clients from one lender because they're only in Texas and then they want to purchase in potentially in New Mexico. So I love the fact that David and his team are able to do that for us, service us in both states.
Hey, Susan, I'm curious. I know already, but I know our guest wants to know, what would say is Susan Flores's superpower? What is it that makes you special out there in real estate in El Paso?
Superpower. I think honestly, it's just being transparent with the clients and the communication. I think that's key in any kind of business that you're in, because if they can feel like they can trust you, I think that speaks volumes, because nowadays it's hard to trust people. And so if you can have that trust from anyone, then I think you're going to be very successful, to be honest with you. So it's just open communication and the trust and just being transparent.
Well, and I think you mentioned something the other day when we spoke, and it was, the reason that you do what you do, and it was really that you love helping families, and and that's where the trust comes in, because you're not doing this. You told me I don't do a great job tracking my numbers. I just do this because I want to help as many people as I can, and I mean that's what sets you apart from the competition, because a lot of people are in it for a paycheck and the money, and the fact that you're doing it for the family, that's special. Right? Your money's going to come with that. If you're helping people, you're going to make money. But when you're doing it to help people, and that's what you get. I think that's what you get out of it, right? That's kind of what you were saying yesterday.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Case in point. So our company had an award ceremony last month, and of course, I just replied I was unable to go for prior commitments. And so they called my assistant Rose, and they wanted somebody to be to represent me at the ceremony, because I had won Realtor of the Year for Keller Williams. So I wasn't even aware of that, to be honest with you, because again, I don't look at the numbers. And that could be a downfall for many people. Like, how do you not know your numbers? But I don't, because my focus is trying to help as many people as we can. And even if it's not immediately, we stay with them from start to finish. It could take a year, it could take 2 years. And that happened to a gentleman that I was with since early 2020. And he finally closed on his home last fall. But we were with him for almost over 2 years. And it's just an indication that we're not here for a quick transaction. I mean, these are people that become an extension of my family. Right. and to thank them, I do events for them. We give out gifts. We give out, we have events throughout the year. I think for our pie event, we should have been into our 7th year, and because of COVID, that kind of held us back. But it's all about the clients, because if it wasn't for them, as everyone knows, we wouldn't be in this position. So to me, they're a major part of my immediate family. So I take care of them as if they were my own family. So
what I like to say is, I don't know if you remember, Susan, but our very first transaction was a gentleman that was buying a house, his very first house. He didn't think that he could qualify, and we miraculously got him qualified. And then at a price point that he didn't think he could find. And guess what? The great Susan Flores found him a house on a border town because his wife was across the border and he had to be close to it. So that, we're talking about a family with an extension that has to be close. And you made it happen to where I could tell you that every single day that I talked to him, or when that transaction probably meant more to him and me, because even though it was a smaller house, a smaller transaction, I witnessed you treating him like as if he was $1 million property. And I think, taking your humble hat off, that's your superpower. You treat everybody the exact same.
She cares. You care, and that's amazing. But I think we're skipping a point here. Susan, you're so modest, right? Because you just said, I got invited to an event and I was Realtor of the Year and I didn't go accept the award, right? I mean, wow, right? That's amazing. You care that much and you're winning awards and you deserve it, right? Because you're out there doing what most won't, right? You're helping people find their home ownership, and you're spending the time, whether it's a month, a week, or 2 years, to get people into that home, even if that's what it takes. I got to tell you, my heart is just overjoyed to have the opportunity to talk to you, because I absolutely love the modesty that you have and the love that you have towards your customers and your community.
I thank you. No, it is. It truly is. It's I don't feel it. I don't believe it's a job. It's something that I wake up to every day, and I'm blessed to be able to wake up every morning, but to be able to do what I love to do. And it's to me, it's not even a job. And I know that not a lot of people are fortunate enough to say that, but I'm been very blessed with the business I have and the business that continues to come my way, because a lot of the business that I have, it's all referral based, the majority of it. And that speaks volumes. At least for me, it really does, because people want to work with us. And it happens. I just had a call from a young lady the other day, and she said, you know what? I don't want to work with this realtor. And, she gave me her reason why, but, I haven't met you, but just speaking with you over the phone, I feel like I can trust you. So I want to work with you. And that says a lot. And it I want to get teary eyed, because it really says a lot. And I'm just very humbled about that. So
it's okay to get emotional here. We've got feelings over here too. It just shows that you're a human being, and it says so much about your character. I'm looking at your wall back here and I see love and mom and faith. So we know you're a mom because I can see it, but talk about that. You're a mom, you've got a family. What's the home like? We know what you do at work. What's home life look like for you?
Well, I'm going to have to correct you there. I'm not a mom.
Okay.
Right here, it says, if you met my mom, you would understand. And what that means is the passion that I have. My mother, everybody says I look like my mom. My mom passed away a few years ago. So, I was just talking to my sister, and I FaceTime her, and she goes, "Oh my God, you look like mom." And so it's just, my mom had a drive. My mother was so a people person. She walked into a room and she just commanded the room. I'm not that way. I'm a little bit more reserved, but I love talking to people. I love speaking and meeting people, but it's just a drive that I have that my mother instilled in us. We're just hard workers and we care about people. And to me, that says a lot right there to me, because if you really met my mom, you would understand why I have the passion and the drive that I do. So
I love that. And I'm sorry to hear about your mother, but at the end of the day, I think she'd be very proud of everything that you're
Thank
doing.
you.
And, you're living out that reputation. And whether you know it or not, you do bring the room up. The moment that we jumped on the phone the other day and again today, you elevate the room because you've got such a great personality. And again, it goes back to being humble about who you are, but the love and passion that you have for what you do and put into what you do every day. Again, I'm honored to have you here with us today and to be able to have this conversation with you. So thank you for that.
Thank you. No, it's amazing to be even been chosen to be on your show. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, David, you know a little bit more about Susan too. What other cool things is she doing?
Well, she does a lot. For the guests that don't know, Susan is bilingual. So, she attracts all walks of life, really. She helps everybody. She's just I think certain people in this world were put on this earth to help, and that's Susan Flores. So what people don't know is, when they say who's the hardest working person in showbiz, well, I don't know who the hardest working person in showbiz is, but I know in real estate, Susan Flores is the hardest working person I know. She starts very early and there's a lot of times at 9, 10, or even 11 o'clock at night, she's still going because I've gotten emails or texts and I'm shocked that she's answering because I'm sometimes still going. But I think it goes back to, if you love what you do, you really don't work. I truly love taking care of the clients that we're able to get to the finish line. And even the ones that we put on a plan of, like Susan said, it's not, real estate, I think is for everybody, but sometimes it's not right now. The dream of home ownership is available to everybody. But you have to have a plan. Sometimes that plan is 3 months, 6 months, a year. Hence, Susan says she's had someone 2 or 3 years down the road. But as long as you stick to the plan, whatever path you're supposed to be on, you will acquire that house.
Well, and find the right person, and I think, if you're in El Paso or New Mexico,
Yeah.
I think that's Susan and her team,
Well, thank you. I have to agree with you. Only
We
because
told you, take the humble hat off, right? This is the place to talk about yourself, because at the end of the day, our followers, they follow the show because they want to hear about real estate success and, and success again, it's about helping families into homes. And we also talk about helping families create generational wealth. You're taking new home buyers. That's, I know we've talked about this. A lot of your buyers are new first-time home buyers who maybe don't have family wealth, and you're helping them find a home which is going to appreciate and grow in value over years and create wealth for their families and the generations that come. And so, we take this show very seriously because we want to bring on partners that feel that are like-hearted, like-minded. You hear us talk about it on every single episode, that don't just care about the paycheck, right? They care about the people they're serving, the communities they're surrounding. That's really what it's all about, right?
Oh, it's 100%. That's what it's all about. And you're right, because a lot of these people, let me give you an example. And I think there's a gentleman that we went under contract the day of Thanksgiving. And so I was able to give him the news that he went under contract. He was super excited. And our goal, and he's not from, they're a descent from Mexico. So long story short, we gave him the good news on Thanksgiving Day, and the goal was to try to close them before Christmas, and we were able to do that. And this is a gentleman, has 3 jobs, didn't think he was going to be able to ever help his family get into their own home. They've been renting for quite some time, and just the thought, and it wasn't a big major purchase, but the fact was that he was patient. I was patient because I have all the patience in the world. But we were able to get him what he wanted. And you just said it, generational wealth.
That's right.
It's about just trying to get them into a home. And this might be their forever home. I mean, we treat people regardless of the amount of the sales price. It doesn't matter if it's $150,000 or $1.5 million. They're going to get the same treatment from not only my business partners, like my preferred lenders, like David and his team, but from my team. So it helps these people know that there is they can become an owner here in the United States. And that's amazing, because a lot of people don't think they're able to. And that's where I step in. And that's what makes it so powerful to be able to know. I mean, these are people that are literally in tears at the closing table. There's a gentleman that was literally shaking, trying to sign his name because he was so happy but so nervous, because this was his first home. And that to me is amazing. So that's why I do. It is.
Beautiful thing. Well,
it is.
We're blessed to have you in the industry. Like I said, earlier, you fell into it. It was, hey, I didn't even want to get into mortgage. And then all of a sudden I'm in it. And the next thing you know, you're out here doing this great stuff, and you're helping a lot of families every single year, and your team's helping families every single year. And you're so modest that you didn't even want to accept the award for being the best realtor at the Keller Williams team. But you're pretty awesome. You're pretty awesome. So,
thank you.
Well, quick question for you, because I know, we try to keep these things pretty short, but before we close out, is there anything that we should have asked you that we didn't today?
No, I think we're good. I think the questions you asked are amazing. So thank you. I think we're good.
Well, and then, if anybody wants to find Susan and Susan's team, how are they going to get a hold of you? How do they track you down?
Well, definitely they can call me direct. My number is 915 area code 209-1701. But I also have a website at susanflores.com. You all can always reach me there or directly at my personal number. And I would love to assist you. So thank you.
You make it too easy. SusanFlores.com. That's just too easy. Is that Flores with an S or with a Z?
With an S. With an S.
And I knew that, but I want to make sure we get that right. So,
awesome. Thank you,
David. Thank you, David. Anything else you'd like to share here before we close this one out?
No. If you're looking for real estate in El Paso, please call Susan Flores. Something about Susan that people don't know. She's also new builder reps. She represents some of the best builders in El Paso also. So she does it all. When I say Susan Flores is the hardest working woman in real estate, she is. So if you're looking for a house, call Susan Flores in El Paso.
Whether it's new inventory or existing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I love that. Well, guys, I think let's go ahead and let's call this one a day. So I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Nguyen.
And we're your real estate success partners. If you'd like to find us, we're at realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. And if you'd like to listen to any of our podcasts live, you can check us out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. We're on all the major networks. We'd love those 5-star reviews. We'd love it if you'd subscribe. But thanks for stopping in again, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.